This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, looky there. Who do we have? Steve Kravitz. Love to talk to Steve because we just start talking and we enjoy each other. And you know, it's not in a sexual way, folks.
How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing
Hello,
just fine.
folks. Yep. Folks at home.
Yep. Yeah. Let me get my arrow out of the picture here. There we go. Okay.
What arrow?
We go. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm a little frustrated with my phone.
Your phone?
My phone will stop talking to my car.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Your phone will... Oh, you mean you had it hooked into your car so that
Right.
when you used it, it came out over your speakers or whatever, right?
Right, and the GPS.
Yeah, well, that's supposedly all you have to do is you have to pair it. I think maybe it got unpaired or something.
No, the Bluetooth it won't recognize the Bluetooth on the old. I got a replacement phone,
Yeah.
but they sent just a phone wrapped up in bubble wrap
Yeah.
with a SIM card, and the SIM card is too small for the SIM card tray, so it just falls through. So now I have to
Wait.
schlep all the way across town to go stand in line at the Spectrum store.
So they gave you a new phone. Something went wrong with your old phone, right?
Right. I got the new phone. The new phone came today.
Yeah.
It didn't come in a box. It came wrapped up in bubble wrap
Yeah.
with an external SIM card. And when I got the SIM card tray out, I put the card in and it just fell through.
Oh, wow.
You know?
So you went back to the Spectrum store.
No, I have to go back to the store after we're done.
Oh, okay. And wait in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Pain in the ass.
So the new phone doesn't pair with your car.
No, the new phone doesn't work at all.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
The old phone didn't pair with the car. That's why I got the new phone.
I see. But why wouldn't it pair? Usually Bluetooth never goes out.
Right.
You know.
Right. I don't know. Maybe the phone it worked on a Tuesday. It stopped working on Wednesday.
Yeah, I find Bluetooth is probably more reliable even than Wi-Fi
Yeah.
because it's what they call a near field device. In other
Right.
words, it would only work, say, within the room you're in,
Right.
okay, or maybe 25 feet, and that's
Right.
it. So it doesn't seem to have the problems. I have problems with Wi-Fi a lot.
Really?
These lights I use
Right.
are hooked up to the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And sometimes they go out. They don't recognize the Wi-Fi, and then all of a sudden it comes back. You know, but with Bluetooth, I don't seem to ever have a problem except you can get out of distance from it. Like my watch here,
Right.
this is linked up to my iPhone by Bluetooth.
Right. Not
Okay,
too fancy.
so if I'm within I can have the phone in the bedroom and I can still use this. You know,
Right,
but I can
right.
use this anyway because it's cellular, but I have to get out of the range of the Bluetooth in order for it to become cellular. Any of that make sense?
No.
Well,
No, it all made sense. It's all made sense, but I don't have an iPhone, so stop it.
I'll send you a book this thick that'll teach you all about it.
Yeah, great. I can hardly wait. I'm sure it'd be good bathroom material.
You know, here's the trouble with technology today, I think. We got away from a basic rule. And the basic rule was you have a switch and you turn it on and the lights go on.
Right.
And you turn it off and the lights go off.
Okay, I
Now
follow
that's
you.
the simplicity we're all looking for.
Right, exactly.
But none of these things in the new technology work as a simple switch on, switch off. In other words,
No.
there's nothing tactile about it. So for especially older people who are used to click on, click off,
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to them, you
Right.
know. And I don't blame them. And you're one of those people probably who grew up with a light switch
Yes. And
Yeah.
a rotary phone.
and a rotary phone. And so you're having to constantly reteach yourself stuff. And as you get older, especially when you get to my age, it's harder. Now, I know this technology, and I got to tell you, sometimes when I'm faced with a new thing that I've got to do, especially with all of this that I need
Right.
to do to get a video out and whatever, I get a little lost.
Yeah.
You know, I get a little
Yeah.
hazy, and I know this stuff.
Right.
But
Right.
but they sometimes get to a point where they figure that the people they're talking to know a certain amount, so they're
Right.
just going to go to that point. But you got to go from point one,
Right.
especially with older people, and say, okay,
Right.
I'll give you a good.
Talk to me like you're talking to a kindergartner.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have a guy that works on this network named Jack Bishop. He does the show right after me. And he, in the beginning, had the worst time dealing with the technology, you know, because
Okay.
you got to do certain things here to get this thing on the air. You know, he's got to
Right.
learn how to use a thing called Skype, and then he's got to learn how to then he's got to learn how to turn the program on, which means going to the web to the encoder and turning it on. And he couldn't understand all this.
Right.
So
I
finally,
don't understand all that.
well, finally, I had to explain it to him in radio terms he knew.
Right.
I said,
Right.
the encoder, which is this little program we have here, is the
Right.
transmitter.
Okay.
Okay? So you've got to turn on the transmitter. And
Okay.
the audio, the player, like the iTunes, the
Right.
player is the programming. Okay, it's the program.
Okay.
So when you want to
Okay.
do the program, you turn on you turn on your control board and you do your program. Okay.
What if you
But
don't
then-
have an iPhone?
No, but then you have to go do this by turning on the transmitter. And as soon as he understood the relationship between transmitter and control board,
Right.
okay, he understood the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
See, and so what were you saying?
About what?
You were saying something about what about the iPhone?
Right.
He
What
did-
if you don't have an iPhone?
He didn't have to use an iPhone to do this. All he had to have was a desktop computer
Oh, okay.
to get onto to my thing here,
Right.
and then to turn the program on and make the encoder go. Okay, but he
All
didn't
right.
understand what the encoder was, and I said it's the
Right.
transmitter. Forget about it. It's the
And
transmitter.
then the light went on.
Yeah, then he understood it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
I
Right.
think what happens is with explaining things to an older audience, all these people have a tendency to bypass a whole bunch of information that these people need to know before they can get to point B.
Right.
You know, they start in the middle. It's kind of like, I do not understand football.
Okay.
Probably the only human being in America that doesn't understand football.
I understand it.
Or how it's played and how it's scored and all of that. All I do is see a bunch of little fleas running around on a field, and
Right.
then eventually there's a winner. All right. So I do not know to this day how football is played, and every time I've had somebody try to explain it to me, and I've had major football players, because I knew a lot of them in San Francisco,
Right.
who would come by the studio, like Jerry Rice and people like that.
Right.
And
okay.
I would say, okay, explain football to me.
Right.
And they would always start about 10 steps ahead of where I was.
Okay.
And so I never understood it.
Right.
You know, well, you see, first you got to get a down. Well, what's a down? Nobody tells you what a down is. To me, it's on a fucking, it's on a
It's
fucking
every
duck.
10 yards.
Huh?
It's every 10 yards.
But I
You have to
don't.
get it every 10 yards.
Every 10 yards. Okay,
Right.
so that's a down.
Right. Well, no, a down, there's 4 downs for each side. But usually, if you don't make a first down and 3 downs, you punt it away.
See, you just lost me. You
Why
just
that?
lost me. You just
part?
lost me completely.
All right, for a touchdown, you get 6 points.
But I don't know. What's a touchdown?
when you cross the end zone line.
Where's the end zone? What's an end zone? End zone. I knew an Italian named Enzo once.
Yeah, right. Good night.
Good night, folks. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, but
Because you're using a whole bunch of terminology which is not in my wheelhouse. So you've got to start me from somewhere where you're actually getting me into the words that are being used and things are explained. So when you go to if you get to the end zone, you got a touchdown. Well,
right.
Some people don't understand. Where is the end zone?
The field is 100 yards long.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And the end zone is past 100 yards.
I see. Okay. It's that little square area with the diagonal lines on it or something.
Yeah, well, it used to be, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Now, I'll tell you what's helped me is when I'm watching football and they now have those graphics that they put on there to show, how many they got to go that way in order to that kind of helps me.
Okay.
That's my guide. And I don't know why they do it for football watchers because they know all that already.
Yes, there's new people just coming along.
So do you like football?
Yes.
See, I hate football.
I like sports.
I love baseball.
Okay.
Me too. And it's not that I could tell you who's leading in the league this year or whatever.
Right.
I love the game and I love what it represents. To me, it's America.
Really?
Yeah. To me, it is a day out with friends.
Oh, there's nothing like going to a ballpark.
And you're drinking. I don't even drink beer except when I'm at the ballpark.
Really?
Have a beer, have a hot dog, talk to each other. Oh, wait a minute, something just happened out there.
I told you the last game I went to was a minor league baseball team.
Yeah.
And I sat in the front row, right behind home plate.
You were telling me that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game that has so much history to it, and so many legends associated with it, and so many legendary stories about it.
Right.
Including when they tried to fix the 1919 World Series. The
Black Sox.
The Black Sox. All of that. I just find it. The minute there's a movie about baseball, I will stop and watch it.
Yeah, me too.
And yet I don't go. I don't really know who's winning this year. But number two, it's the easiest game to know how it's played. It's not very complicated.
No, but it's not. People find it boring, but it's not boring.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're at the game, like you said, and you have a drink and a hot dog, and you're sitting with friends, and you're just yapping it up. It's very pastoral.
Well, that's the term I always use, is how pastoral it is. How it makes me. It's a bunch of people out in a field.
Right.
Throwing a ball around.
Right.
Okay. But the other part about it, and maybe you don't know this, or maybe you do know this, it is the most geographically perfect game. If any of those bases were even more than an inch either way, it would throw the whole game out of kilter.
Oh, it would change the whole complex of the game.
Right. That they found the perfect geometric dynamic
90 feet between the bases
to play this game.
Right.
And they developed this game that I think is one of the most perfect games ever created.
And the object is to get home.
Yes.
That's the object, is to get home.
The object is to get home, just like it is in life.
Right. And it's the only sport where the defense has the baseball.
Oh yes, that was another thing. The defense has
the ball.
Has the ball. Every other game, the offense has the ball.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I mean, that's probably why I love it, and I understand it, and I can go to a game and enjoy it.
Right.
But it's not. I don't enjoy it because I enjoy the game as much as I enjoy just the whole totality of the experience.
Right,
You know?
right. There's nothing like when you cross those top steps and you see the field for the first time.
Yeah.
Every time you see that green field, it's like you're seeing it for the very first time in your life.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes. Absolutely. And by the way, every seat in the house is a good seat.
That usually.
Yeah.
In Fenway, you can actually sit behind a pole.
Oh, okay. But I mean, barring
Right.
structural problems,
Right.
every seat is pretty much a good seat. Even if you're far away, you can tell what's going on.
Right. These days with the new parks, there's no bad seats.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I just always liked it. Also, ballparks, if I remember correctly, if you just have a ballpark only ballpark, which I love, I like
Right.
it when it's just a ballpark only ballpark, which they
Right.
started building a lot of over the years.
Right.
It feels cozy. You know, it's smaller than football.
Right.
It's not as bulky as football. Football to me is loutish. You know.
I wouldn't go to a football game. I watch football is good to watch on TV. It's a TV sport.
Yeah.
Whereas baseball, you need to be in person.
Well, the reason why, you know, remember football wasn't that popular before the 50s.
Right.
You know why it became popular?
Why
It's
is
a
that?
television-friendly sport.
Right. That's what I said.
Baseball was a radio-friendly sport. You could
Very
describe.
much. This-
There were guys who literally weren't in the ballpark. They got the
Right.
line scores, and then they would sit there in a room with a guy doing the sound effects.
Right. Well,
And-
that's a long time ago.
Wait a minute. I knew a guy that did it. I worked for him. His name was Gordon McClendon. He started a whole radio network based on this.
Really?
This is why they finally came out with that little thing at the end of the baseball game where they say any description of the or
Right.
recreation of the game is expressly prohibited, because he was
Right.
doing that for years.
Oh, really?
He would get the line scores sitting in Dallas, and he had the Liberty Radio Network. And then he would take those line scores and he would give a description of the game that was better than anybody who was actually at the game giving the description. Because he would just build it up and so on and so forth. But they would do the sound of the bats cracking and all of that.
That's fun.
Yeah. So it was a very descriptive game. You could describe what was going on. And it was exciting to hear. And so therefore baseball was the national sport. Come television, baseball's a little slow.
Right. Right.
You know, they had to speed it up too. They did a few things to speed it up.
That's right. I think there's a shot clock in basketball.
Yeah.
I think there's a pitch clock now in baseball, where they have to throw the pitch within so many seconds.
Yeah. But I mean, baseball was not a sport that played well on television. Not like football.
No.
Football was exciting to watch.
Right.
You know.
Right.
It was you know, so I mean that's why I think football became so big.
And football is huge with the bettors, with people betting.
Yeah. Oh well, that's the other thing about sports. You know, why do we really care about sports? Why do we care whether the people cheat at sports or not? That's not because we want a better game. I mean, quite frankly, if somebody cheats, it might actually make for a better game.
Well,
you know?
I think they should let steroids be legal.
Yeah, I mean, all of that. But we don't. Why? Because people gamble on it.
Right.
And it is made for the gamblers.
Oh, yeah.
It is there to protect the gamblers.
Even ESPN comes up with the betting line.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't used to do that. But
No.
finally one day they said, to hell with it, we'll do it.
Right.
You know. But it's all for the benefit of the bettors. We don't want them to cheat because that will throw the line of the betting off.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm not betting.
Right.
You
me
know, I
neither.
just want to watch a good game.
Right.
Like in the old days, you remember you may not remember the quiz show scandals.
Well, no, not really.
Well, it was that, you know, these guys were doing TV shows, and they were
Right.
giving away $64,000 or $120,000 or whatever, a lot of money.
Right.
And they brought on these contestants. They made sure that they all were kind of characters. The little shoemaker, the this or the that. You know, people who had a backstory.
Right.
And but then they would put them in a box or whatever and ask them these questions, and they would answer these amazing questions. And everybody was surprised when they found out that these shows were fixed.
Yes.
And the reason they were fixed, it wasn't like the people doing the shows were crooked. Okay?
They just wanted to make good television.
They wanted to make a good show.
Right.
And they did. I mean, it was exciting. Right. And, you know, if they had some guy who wasn't, we had this one thing with Charles Van Doren, and then the guy who was going up against him, I'm trying to remember his name now, didn't have quite the personality Van Doren did. So they made sure Van Doren got the answers and the other guy didn't. All right?
Right.
And when they finally, this all came out, and it's such a scandal, and blah, 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 I'm going, I didn't get hurt.
Right.
I got a good show.
Right.
You know.
Well, they even made the movie quiz show.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, is that Van Doren situation.
Right.
But, I mean, I didn't get cheated. I got the benefit of this fix. I mean, I watched an exciting show that was choreographed, and the people who were doing it didn't see anything wrong with that, because there had been nothing wrong with it before then.
Right.
You know, what they really felt they had to do was turn out the best possible show.
Right.
So,
that's like these reality shows. They have scripts.
Oh, if they don't have scripts, they know which way it's going to go. And if they don't know exactly which way it's going to go, the people who are on the reality shows know they're on a reality show.
That's right. That's like the one where they're out in the woods alone. Well, there's a camera crew with them.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not alone.
Well, I often used to say on the show Survivor, they go, oh, well, these people live through this. Oh, the snakes. And I'm going, of course they're going to, because there's a goddamn camera person there who, if they really get in trouble, is going to save their life.
Right. And there's a medical staff on call. And it's bad TV to have somebody die.
You know what I always hate is when they do documentaries like about mountain climbing.
Right.
And they show these people climbing the mountain and how difficult it is and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going, is anybody asking how tough the cameraman is?
Right. No kidding, right?
I mean, these people are climbing up the side of sheer cliffs, right?
Right.
And then there's a cameraman shooting it. And you're going, that guy's better than the person who's climbing, because he's doing the same thing, but he's got a camera and he's shooting the thing on top of it.
Right. Like skydiving. Like skydiving.
Maybe he has ropes that are pulling him or something, but he's doing something. Skydiving. Good example.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to skydive with a camera?
No.
Are you going to skydive with a camera?
I would. I'd put it on my helmet right here.
Right.
You know.
Well, first of all, I don't think I would skydive.
You know something? It's the one thing I've told people. I'm a veteran coward.
Right.
Okay. and I don't like to do things that are dangerous. That's why I've lived to be. That's why I've lived to be 81. I don't do things that are dangerous. But somebody said, "Would you jump out of it?" I wouldn't do that when they see somebody jumping out of a plane. I go, I would. I actually would. If somebody buddy jumped with me, held on to me while I was doing it, I'd do it.
Really?
Yeah. And I have a fear of heights, by the way. But you don't have a fear of heights in that situation, because you get your fear of heights because, like, you look over the edge of a building and you can see the side of the building.
Right.
But if the side of the building disappears, you won't be afraid of the height because you have no relationship to the ground.
Or so you think.
Well, so I hope. I've just never jumped out of a plane. You know.
Well, if you're jumping out of a plane, I'll be watching from the ground.
Hey, Alex.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll crash.
I'll meet you on the ground. Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, so I never minded them, fixing the shows, because it didn't affect me. I wasn't out to win $1 million.
That's right.
You know, and they put on a good show, and I got the entertainment benefit out of it.
There you go.
Well, I just looked at the clock. We got about a minute left to go. Do you have anything of great import that you want to say to the listening public here.
No, because I'm on my way to get my phone fixed, so I'm kind of cranky.
You know, that's an exciting day for you, isn't it?
Yeah, really. I could do without it.
Yeah.
I wish the phone showed up ready to go.
Phones, well, that's another thing altogether. I don't know how some
Right.
people even, older people negotiate iPhones.
Right.
I still have to always fix my wife's a watch, Apple Watch and stuff.
Really?
Because she can't figure out what to do. She's, and she's
Right.
not stupid to this stuff.
Right.
Anyway, see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. Well, no, we'll talk about that after I'm through ending this. We'll set
Okay.
the day. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's Steve Kravitz. He's not playing anywhere, but who knows? Soon, maybe he'll be in a movie or something. We don't
Who
know.
knows?
Yeah, we're hoping. Okay.
Yes, me too.
Stephen Pearl, folks. Bye.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
By the way, at the very end there, I had my senior moment, folks. I called him Steve Pearl because, we do Pearl as well. So, okay. But, I was saying today on another little thing that I did out in the park that I had a senior moment, and I don't excuse having a senior moment because I am a senior. All right? I'm 81 years old. I'm allowed to make those kind of mistakes. The kind of mistakes I wasn't allowed to make when I was younger. Okay? All right. Okay. Let me see here. Nobody's calling me. Okay. Nobody is calling us. Okay, well, I guess I could just, this is amazing. Are you able to get in touch with me? I have no idea. This is amazing. Really. Let me see here. Let me just make sure that I have all these things all right, Let me see here. I just want to see is my number right? Yeah, the number's right and everything. And nobody's calling me. Well, have we finally reached that? Okay, where nobody's going to call me any longer. All right. Well, I'll give it a couple minutes here and then I'm out of here. Okay. No Charlie tonight, of course. Probably no Alan. He's taking the night off. Well, here comes Jeff Stein, folks. Let me see here. So I know we are okay, that we do have things. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we got at least 2 people here. So let me go to the panel. Okay, let's see here. All righty, there they go. Hello, guys. How are you this evening?
We're here.
Oh, where are you, Brian? And
I'm scrambling for my laptop so you don't close the show. Oh my God.
Oh, really? Okay, no, I wasn't planning on closing the show. I mean,
Yeah, you did. You threatened. You said, I don't have anybody.
if nobody's there, why should I do it?
Okay.
Okay, but you're nothing but you look like you're in the witness protection program there.
Oh, you guys were talking baseball earlier.
Oh, there we go. There you see. You got to hit the go for the light. Yeah. What?
You guys are talking baseball earlier. If you go to Alexa and ask who has the best record in baseball.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Echo, who has the best record in baseball?
I know about one professional baseball team with the highest winning percentage. The
No.
San Francisco Giants.
Well, it says the San Francisco Giants has the highest winning.
That is correct.
Oh,
We are
is that
first
what you were?
place.
Is that what you wanted? I thought you wanted to know. Who was
Yes.
the best
player.
best
No,
player?
we're the Giants are in first place. They have the best record in baseball right now.
Really, the highest number of wins would that be?
Yep.
And
Yep.
yet they haven't.
72.
Yeah,
72 wins, and they're going to get another one tonight. So.
but they haven't played in the World Series that often. I mean,
They did.
Oh, really?
2010, 2012, 2014.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Is that from the beginning? All the history of baseball?
Oh no! They won some way before.
Yeah,
no.
back in New
I'm
York, they
saying
won.
In the
no.
50s,
I'm saying though, when I asked for that statistic, is that the most winningest of
That's
all
this
teams?
season.
Oh, this season.
This season, yeah.
Oh.
But they're what, like 2/3? 2/3 into the season.
Okay, but how about all time? I wonder.
Oh, I don't know.
Yankees.
Probably Shut up! I know people.
Yankees,
Tony.
Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees won like
And in addition to
27.
that, the Yankees.
Yankees.
27 World Series or something, right?
Yes.
27, 28, something like that.
You can
27.
Yankees my crankies.
Frankie Yankees.
Yeah,
John-
yeah.
John Stone.
Yeah. Well, I get. I don't know who. You know, I talk about how I love baseball, but I don't think I ever had a favorite baseball team. You know.
What?
Yeah. No. I mean.
Oh, you lived in San Francisco.
Well, I lived in San Francisco, but you got to realize when I was growing up, when I was a baby, when I was a kid, we didn't have any Major League Baseball teams in San Francisco. We had all those half-assed, you know, what do they call them? Farm teams.
Semi-pro teams.
Semi-pro
The Oakland
teams.
Oaks,
San
Oakland
Francisco
Oaks,
Seals.
and the San Francisco Seals.
San Francisco Seals used to play where? Where did they play?
Yeah.
16th and Potrero.
Kezar Stadium.
No,
Kezar Stadium.
no.
That was football.
The
it?
49ers played at Kezar.
Oh, okay.
Right.
The Giants played at 16th and Potrero. It was called Seal Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the
Yeah.
Now there's a
49ers,
Safeway there.
49ers as a football team were not a major football team at that time. They became a major football team. Am I right or wrong? Who's William A. Ferguson? I wonder who this is. I wonder if we're going to have to get rid of William A. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Hello, William A. Ferguson. How are you?
Audio connecting.
Bill? William?
Yeah.
Do you like William or Bill?
Oh, either or.
Have you called us before?
I have.
You have. When?
Oh, this was some years ago.
Oh, okay. So that's probably why I don't remember you.
Yeah.
Hell,
Think a lot
I
has
don't
happened.
remember my wife, and I just left her in the bedroom a couple of hours ago. You know.
Lots happened since the last time I talked to you, so.
I guess.
A lot's happened. I mean, like, what has a lot happened? Do you mean? But,
Well, recently I came down with COVID. I was laid up for 3 months.
oh, wonderful!
Wow.
That was good,
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
Let me get my mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one too.
Mask up, everybody.
Yeah. 3 months you were down with it.
3 months.
See, everybody goes, oh, well, it's just like a bad flu. No,
No.
it's worse than that. Was this before we had vaccines?
Yeah, this is before we had vaccines.
Yeah. And
Now, anytime a new virus comes out, I'm typically the first one it finds.
oh, okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, it's nice that you did it for the rest of us.
Yes, I
Yeah.
took one for the team.
Yeah, I took one for the team. What?
My company can use you.
Yeah, he makes testing kits.
Oh, cool.
Brian works for a company that makes testing kits. And I'm surprised he doesn't run the whole damn place by now, but you know he's probably getting there.
I'm getting too old now.
You're getting too old?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Did a lot of work in the company. Yeah.
They go.
The company's so big now. But yeah, I was doing a lot there. So
Yeah. Anyway, so how did you get it? I mean, we know how you get it, but how did you get it? What circumstances do you think caused you to get it?
Well, I was exposed to somebody at work who had it.
Yeah. And were you wearing masks at work? No.
No, this is before we started doing the mask mandates.
So you got it really early on.
And what ended up happening was I got something that I felt was like a flu or a cold or something, but then it just got progressively worse. And I ended up going to the hospital and I ended up on a ventilator
Wow.
for 21 days.
Wow.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's serious because they usually say that only 20% of the people who go on ventilators ever come out of them.
I almost didn't.
You almost did.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in California.
Where?
Near Sacramento. I live in Sutter County.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So how were the hospitals when you were there?
At this point, they weren't. As of December 8th, we don't have any ICU beds here anymore. They're tapped out.
Oh, wow.
But at the time, yeah, they got me in. They tested me. They're like, oh, yeah, okay, you have COVID. And then I just declined from that point forward.
You didn't have the benefit, I would imagine, at that time of some of the newer medicines and so on that they've been using.
No, this was pull and pray.
Oh wow, that's yeah. So that was how long ago? That had to be at least
That was a year, almost a year ago.
almost a year ago. You came out of it a year ago, or you went into it a year ago?
I went into it a year ago. About 5 days into it, that's when they intubated me on a ventilator, and I didn't come out of it for 21 days, and then after that, I was laid up for about another 2.5 months.
Really?
Yeah,
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Don't answer it if I'm getting too personal. How much did the hospital bill come to?
oh Jesus.
I mean, this isn't what you paid because you obviously, I'm sure you had insurance.
Sure, I had insurance.
But you had to get a bill. And,
Yeah,
and
the
how-
bill was something like over $300,000.
Oh, only that for 3
Only
months?
that.
Wow, I thought
Yeah,
it'd be
I
closer.
got lucky.
Yeah, I thought it'd be closer to $1 million. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Still alive.
You say that same hospital now, there aren't any beds available?
No, the hospital I went to, there's no beds available anymore.
Because it's gone back up again.
Right, as of December 8th, they're tapped out on ICU beds. They're literally putting people. It's like Italy,
Yeah.
like Italy was.
But
in the beginning.
I thought California had kind of managed that problem of not enough beds available and things like that. But then again, you're up in Sutter. You say Sutter County?
Yeah.
So they probably don't have that large a hospital.
No, it's the only hospital within, like, say, a 50-mile radius.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Chico. They got Antelope Hospital, but
Yeah.
yeah, those are the only two hospitals they're going to send you to if there's something seriously wrong with you.
Wow. So, well, a survivor. This is terrific. Yeah.
I also ended up losing a few teeth in the process.
What do you mean? Just because they fell out?
Yeah, because of COVID. Now, I don't know if this is actually due to COVID, but if it isn't, it's a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have anything that wrong with your teeth before you got COVID, did you?
No.
You brushed and flossed and saw your dentist twice a year and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then you lost your teeth when you got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Now, what about the aftermath now?
Well, the aftermath is, for a while, I think about 8 months or so, and I'm still going through this now. I kind of got COVID brain.
Oh, you got kind of like a fog?
Yeah.
They
It
say
was
that. I was reading that.
Yeah, it was really bad in the beginning. I couldn't put a sentence together.
Okay.
I was out of work for a while, and my poor wife is just, I don't know how she managed, but it was pretty bad.
Well, you were out of work because you were sick, but when you got
Yeah.
well, did they hire you back?
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
Oh.
They put me on an extended vacation. They were like, "Yeah, okay, you got COVID." They took care of me.
Oh, good.
I'm back at work now.
Yeah. But do you still have COVID brain? I mean, do you still have
Sort
that-
of.
Yeah, sort of that fog. Yeah.
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 Sometimes I forget who I am.
Oh, really?
Well, it's sort of. I mean, that's kind of exaggerating for dramatic effect.
I
here,
don't.
but
I
yeah.
don't think we've begun to know the total devastation of this particular disease. You know, I mean, we talk to somebody like you, and you go, "Hey, look, I have all these problems after the fact, and we don't know how this is going to affect people in the long term."
No, we
Yeah.
don't.
But did you get finally when it was time to get the vaccine? Did you get it?
I actually got it today.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I went into Walmart and got a shot today, and I got the Moderna shot,
Yeah.
and I have to report that everything is fine, and I'm chimpy foompa did that.
Yeah, and but now you're full of silicone chips in you that will track you everywhere you go. Yeah. Okay. You know, that's kind of interesting. Why did you wait that long to get it? Because you were you had it,
I
and
had it, and I was coping with the COVID brain and coping with, barely able to string a sentence together in the first couple of months after I recovered. It took a long time for me to get it. Almost up to this point, it took me a while to get back to almost good.
did you have a certain? Did you have what do you call it? What do you call it, Brian? Were you kind of immune in ways? I mean, did you have a certain amount of resistance now to the disease because you had it?
The antibodies.
Do you have antibodies? What did they say?
Yeah, of course. Once you have it and you survive it, yes, you're gonna have antibodies. I don't know how long they lasted.
The other
But-
problem with it is people say, well, I've got antibodies because I had COVID. And yes,
Right.
you had antibodies, but not against the variant.
Right. That's primarily why I went in today to
Yeah.
get my vaccines because of the Delta variant.
Yeah, yeah. So now, did your wife get it?
No, she didn't get it.
Wow.
Alex,
What?
your thing is, I told you better keep kissing Marjorie. She's the only one getting tested in your house. You better keep kissing
Well,
her.
I mean, she hasn't been tested lately.
What?
The last one, we both got tested about a month or two ago when we walked by a place and they said, we'll give you $50 if you'll let us do a nasal test on you. And I said, for $50 you can stick it up my ass. I mean, I don't care. So we did it, and but no, we've had, of course, the vaccine, but boy, that's quite a story. You're
Yeah.
very lucky. You're very, very. I'm sure you know how lucky you are. And
Well, yeah, I thank you. Yes, I am. Because it was really close.
Close
And
to
I
the
think
end.
it's smart. I think it's really smart getting the vaccine even after, because I think everybody's treating the variant like it's the regular COVID, and it's definitely not.
no, it's not. And people who have had it and gotten the antibodies. Thank you. I forgot the term, mainly because I think I've had COVID and don't know it, and I have COVID brain.
Fog.
Either that or it's called 81-year-old brain.
Hmm.
But no, it was the people are starting to get it who already have had it because of the variant, and so everybody should just make sure they get vaccinated no matter what, But your wife must have been panicked throughout this whole thing.
She thought I was going to die. She was already updating my will.
Really?
Yeah, that's how close it came. They were like, okay, we're going to put him on this ventilator, but if he doesn't recover in a certain amount of time, we're going to pull the plug.
How many days did they give you to recover?
21, exactly 21 days.
And so, how did they know that they didn't have to pull the plug, or did they just pull out the respirator?
On day 20, I started to improve.
Uh-huh.
I guess I started to come back, and then by day 21 they were ready to, okay, we can take him off the ventilator now. Now, for those of you guys, the rest of you, this is not something they just do normally. In order to put you on a ventilator, the first thing they have to do is they have to put you in a coma to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to stick this tube down your lungs while you're awake.
Oh, they knock you out then.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're going to put you out.
So they put you into a drug-induced coma. Yeah.
Pretty much, yes.
You don't know whether you're coming out of that or not. You know?
No, 'cause once you go in, it's
You're committed.
there's a gap. I had this like black hole in my brain, this gap in my sense of time. I'm
Yeah.
actually missing time.
Yeah. Well, I once described one drug that they gave me to put me under. It's like it was only I was only under for 25 minutes, but I said it's like somebody edited 25 minutes out of my life.
Exactly.
You know, I'm here and then I'm here. Okay, but what happened in between? Well, that's probably when they, they stick the swab up my ass. But whatever goes on during that 25 minutes, I don't remember it.
Because I remember a Tuesday, and then I remember a Sunday, 21 days later.
Okay, so you don't have any inkling of what went on. You have no memory of that 21-day period.
The last thing I remember was the anesthesiologist was, okay, we're gonna pump you full of this. I'm like, all right, cool. Okay, and now we're gonna give you this, and the last thing I remember was there was this really bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
It was like a chemical. It tasted like chemicals, and that's the last thing I remember.
Mm-hmm. And then,
and then when I woke up, they told me, "Oh, you've been out for 21 days."
Oh.
And how'd you feel about that?
Well,
You were glad you came out of it, I imagine.
yeah, I didn't die. That's because guys. That's how guys like me define healthy.
I didn't die.
Yeah, you gotta set the bar somewhere.
Yeah.
I was okay. I didn't really know how to process that. I kind of still don't know how to process that I had been gone for 21 days.
Yeah.
good.
Wow.
Let me get this real quick.
Yeah.
Did you lose a lot of weight?
Yeah, I lost over 100 pounds.
Oh wow! I want to go in a coma for. Jeez.
In fact, Alex, the last time I talked to you, I weighed about 265 pounds. I was well on my way to 300.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My face like took up most of the camera.
I'll tell you about that time when I probably talked to you last time. I was about 260, and then I lost 60 pounds. No, it was 245. I lost 60 pounds. I think I put about 25 of it back on because of a prostate operation. I had a cancer operation. I had it was radiation.
By the way, you positively glow, sir.
What? Yes, I positively glow. Yeah. But an amazing story, William. But we're glad you made it through and that you're calling us to tell us about it.
Yes, thank you. It's good to be back. It really is.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions they want to ask him at all?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, did you actually go back to work or something like that since?
Not for a long time.
And then what was that like?
Oh, it was a little bizarre. It's like, it's kind of like picking up where you left off.
Yeah.
What kind of work do you do?
Well, I work corporate security at the Gap.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I work at a data center in Rockland.
I see. Okay.
I just my whole bag is just sit there and watch cameras and yeah.
Did they keep paying you during this period of time?
Yes, they did.
Very good.
Ooh,
Very
nice.
nice. Okay. Nice words go to the Gap.
Well, it wasn't. I don't actually work for the Gap proper. I work for through a security company that contracts with the Gap, but the security company, which I'm sorry I can't name.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, that would be insecure.
Right. They were actually paying me through the whole.
Wow, that's terrific. That's terrific.
They're like, when I first talked to them, and they were like, I told them, look, I got COVID, and I'm calling from the hospital bed.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I've got this disease. I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm gonna. They're like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll take care of everything, for however long you need. You just get well, and when you come back, your job will still be here.
Oof, nice people.
Yeah, they were very nice people.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Yeah.
Now, security is not the most glamorous job in the world
No.
by far, but these people have, they've always given me work when I've needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've always paid me on time. And I really can't say anything bad about them.
Right.
I mean, but like most security, every security company is shady and fly by night. This company is just shady and fly by night enough. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Why do you say security companies are shady and fly by night?
Oh, they cut all kinds of corners.
Oh, really?
They promised the clients the moon,
Mm.
but when it comes time to actually do the job, 6 months into it, the client is complaining. Oh, you guys aren't doing what you said you were going to do. Blah blah blah. I'm going to cancel this contract.
Is this true of all security companies?
Pretty much, yeah.
Really?
Large and small.
In other words, they'll promise anything it takes to get the account.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, thank God I don't have to hire a security company. That's not in my playbook. Yeah.
I was going
Well,
to
they actually they talk about putting the patients into the coma like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they say it takes a few days for all the chemicals to get out of their body after they start getting consciousness again. And they've had problems with some people not coming out of the coma too.
That's true.
That's crazy. Yeah, I never heard about that going into.
There is that chance that once you go under, you're not coming back out.
Yeah.
Well, no problem for me because I've been in a coma since 2005. So,
Boom.
1996 here.
Yeah, boy, I mean, this is just it's a strange thing, this whole deal with COVID, and it's terrible the way it's affected just everybody. And here's somebody who's a pioneer. You got it early on when we didn't even know exactly what it was and how devastating it was going to turn out to be.
I got it. Okay, sometime around March, I think it was like 18th, after the Bay Area shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Yuba City, we have a director of Health and Human Services. Her name is Dr. Fong Lu,
Mm-hmm.
and she's a great lady. And she was monitoring the cases out of Sacramento, and in one day it went from like 35 cases to over 300 in less than 24 hours. And she said, "Oh no, fuck this, we're locking down right now."
Yeah.
That's about the time, and about a couple of days after that, that's about the time I caught it.
So you got it before everybody was sitting around saying, "Hey, well, you better wear masks and we better work from home and blah 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 blah," and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I got it just after we locked down.
Yeah.
We just had testing around that time. So
Yeah.
It's amazing, it's amazing to see how far we've come in a year, both in putting a damper on this particular thing, and at the same time on the stupidity of some people about it.
Did you see Tennessee?
No, what's the latest in Tennessee? No.
Tennessee, they had the student board. They had some meetings and they had some doctors talk, and all the other parents are yelling at them and saying, "No more masks, no more masks." And the ladies there, the parents, I guess, they had signs saying, "Our kids have gone through enough. Get the masks off." And it's like, oh my God!
Well, your
kids wearing
kids
a mask, that's like devastating for them.
Your kids are
And they went, and one guy who spoke, they followed him out to his car. Security had to follow him out. The police followed him out to his car because there must have been 100 people yelling at him. A couple of people getting really into him, saying, "We know who you are. We know who you are." And it was on CNN tonight, and it's like crazy stuff. I mean,
the notion that kids can't get it is now been proven to be a complete fallacy.
Oh hell, there was a kid in the bed next to me.
Really?
Yeah,
How old was he?
14.
14.
Yeah.
But they're talking about children can't get it, and it turns out now the children are coming down with it.
That's such bullshit.
You know?
That is total bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. But the kids are coming down with it, and it's just there's a stupidity going on here. I mean, like that meeting you were talking about. Oh, our kids they're tired of wearing these masks. And blah 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 blah. Look at what you're doing to them with these masks. Hey, listen, the masks suck. Okay, I wish we had better technology than that, but we don't. Okay, but the masks suck. But they're the only thing we've got, for people who are not vaccinated to protect themselves against this. And that's not even 100% protection, So,
I laugh when they say, "Oh, it causes psychological damage to these kids." Yeah, right. Come on.
Yeah,
And they said that they blamed the kids were getting rashes on their face and all this stuff, and the doctor says, I haven't seen one person come in for rashes on their face because of masks.
Kids are
I'm
fucking
vaccinated
resilient.
to work. I wear masks all the time at work. Everybody at my job wears a mask. We don't. No, come on.
well, you know what
Kids
you
don't
do
give a
get?
fuck.
You can get some indentations from the straps.
Sure.
But that's not a rash.
Yeah.
You know.
Stephanie, she had a tan mark because they have to run outside. So she had a tan mark. It was all white in here.
Well, you know what's happened. I understand, and maybe you can tell us with Adrian. The kids actually adapt very well to the mask.
Oh yeah.
They actually find them fun in a way.
Adrian was getting the other kids in trouble because she kept telling them to put their mask up. So yeah, and they were even talking on CNN. They said, "Geez, make it fun for the kids. Have them design their own masks and color, and have like the best mask or most colorful mask contests and all this stuff." There's so many things you can do, and the kids. Adrian doesn't mind wearing a mask. She's the one always wearing a mask, knowing that she's not vaccinated. Like today when we're going out and stuff, she's really good at it.
Well, I'm wondering why we haven't, with all the technology we have, come out with better masks. I mean, the masks we have seem to be kind of, the surgical masks. They've been around. Hell, you look at pictures of people during the Spanish flu, and they're wearing the same masks we're wearing today.
Wearing them below their nose line.
No, they were up. They were up here. Yeah. They were up
Initially,
here.
they were wearing them below the nose line, and everybody was still getting sick. And like, oh no, you need to cover your whole face.
Right.
I just got through reading a book about 2 months ago called The Great Influenza by Scott Berry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew the 1918 pandemic was bad.
Oh, it's very
I
bad.
had no idea how bad it really was.
The low estimate is 50 million dead.
Jeez.
That's the low estimate. The high estimate is somewhere like around 200 million dead. But they don't know because it was in those days we didn't have the kind of communication we have now.
And here's something else that happened. Funeral homes were putting armed guards on their funeral homes because people were stealing coffins.
Wow.
And the other thing that was going on was that back then they used to send nurses to your home.
Mm-hmm.
You're sick, they would send a nurse to your home. But what would usually end up happening was these nurses would show up to these homes and it would end up being a hostage situation. They're like, oh no, you're gonna help you're gonna help my son or my daughter or my mother or my sister or whatever. And they would hold these poor nurses at gunpoint.
Wow.
And that's partly why they don't do house calls anymore.
Wow. That's, I mean, I'd heard though, and I don't know if this is true, that when it finally ended, the Spanish flu, it was like Saturday you had the Spanish flu and Monday it was all over. It was like that. It was like turning off a light switch. Is that what you read?
Yeah, something like that.
Because they were all dead.
Well, is it that they were all dead, or I don't know?
There was this one part I read where this kid, well, he was a kid then, but he would like go over to this friend's house, and they were like, "Oh no, he's gone."
Yeah. But
Okay.
you know what happens today? If the Spanish flu happened today, if it came by tomorrow, all of a sudden here's the Spanish flu, whatever the strain was,
Mhm.
it wouldn't even be a problem. I think we would be able to take care of it with current medicine that we have and just annihilate it. But so when you talk about this particular pandemic, think of how horrible this is because we didn't have the ability to simply wipe it out. I think we could have wiped out the Spanish flu had we had all the antibiotics that we have now,
And the mask mandates.
and the mask mandates and things that we knew back today that we didn't know back then.
That's primarily why we don't have flu this year.
Well,
Last
yeah,
year,
right.
Everyone's asking, what happened to the flu? How come there's no flu? You don't hear about flu anymore. That's because we're fucking masked up.
You know something? Other countries mask up every flu season. The
Korea.
Chinese, the Japanese. You look at the shots of Beijing, and there are people walking around with masks because
Every time I went to Korea on military exercises, because I was in the Navy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were too.
I
Alex.
was too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Back at you,
Screw
sir.
the Marines, huh? Yeah.
Back at you, Jimmy. So anyway, and by the way, I'm thankful for whatever synaptic event allowed me to remember that you were in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but yeah, every time I went to Korea in March, which is about when their flu season started,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was masked up.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have had a very, I got my flu shots, so I don't know that I didn't get it because I got the flu shots, but I have no real idea about that. But the fact is, they said there was basically no flu season this year because everybody was wearing masks. And if we did that every
do
year,
more of that. We really should do more of that.
Yeah. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
All right, how you doing, Alex?
Yeah, you've been listening to William here. He's been very fascinating.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's nice that he made it through all this crap.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
I like your setup, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's just my office.
Yeah. You like mine here? I have this big window that looks out on New York City, and the weather never changes.
With harm.
How about this one?
Huh? Oh yeah. Is that a green screen too?
No, I don't have a green screen. I just put a picture logo on Zoom.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because I
And
forget
it's
you can.
backward, from what I can tell.
Yeah, you
I
can.
also just got a Mac because I just enrolled in school not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me an iPad and a Mac and a MacBook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's only costing me $53,000, but
$53,000
that's right.
for what? The going back to school?
The tuition is 53 grand.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, and I'm loving my Mac. I used to be a PC guy for years, and now I got this Mac. And I'm like, I don't even bother with my PC anymore.
So what you enrolled in college courses basically?
Yeah, I'm learning how to be a web designer.
Oh, okay. For
Yeah.
$53,000?
$53,000. Yeah, I'm going for a bachelor's degree.
Oh, I see. But where are you doing it?
Full Sail University in Florida.
And what do you do this by? I guess you do this by.
Yeah, online.
Online, yeah.
Yeah, I'm online. Yeah, because I'm not in Florida.
Yeah.
I would never move to Florida. I've heard about Florida, man.
Well, let me just for a moment here change the subject here. What is happening out there in the news that I should know? And I'm saying this. I'm going to tell you why I say this. Because I have once again taken myself out of the loop when it comes to watching news. I am so disappointed after this whole Cuomo thing with the way the MSNBCs and the CNNs of the world comported themselves. And I never could stand Fox or some of the Newsmax or One America News. But But I just decided, I was so pissed off, I just said, I'm not going to watch the news anymore. I have no idea what's going on. I hear we did pass some kind of bill where it looks like we're going to get some infrastructure money.
We did.
Yeah, but
It hasn't
But
passed
what?
yet.
Inform me, because as I say, I have just so stopped watching the news because it so pisses me off. You
The
know?
Senate passed it.
Those two bills aren't going to be ready to be signed until the fall.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Democrats are going to hold something over their heads, and that second half of it.
And the Republicans are going to try to throw the debt ceiling into a default or something like that. You know, so the Republicans are going to say we're not going to allow the Democrats to raise the debt ceiling. So that means that if they don't, we'll basically default on our obligations, Treasury bill obligations.
You know
Which
what I
would
don't
basically-
understand? When are these guys in Washington just going to say, we're working for the people, let's do something for them?
Oh no.
There's just no sense of that.
Oh no. It's never been like that. It's never been.
I don't know. Let me put it this way. When I was a young boy, they seemed to
Okay.
get some stuff done for the people,
Some.
Well, I mean, look at it. Lyndon Johnson got a civil rights bill, and he got, I think, Medicare through, and
Great
things
Society.
like the great. Well, that was his overall theme of it.
Yeah.
But
I don't think there's been an effective Congress president since Roosevelt.
Well, I think Lyndon Johnson was pretty effective. I mean, he passed more civil rights legislation than any president in history. And then he also got us Medicare. And there were a few other things he did while he was in office that were benefiting people, certain Southern Rights Acts and things like that. So, which no one expected to come out of Lyndon Johnson, who basically was a Southerner.
Yeah.
I also like Nixon for giving us the EPA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Even he stopwatches right twice a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading this book about the history of the filibuster, and in the 50s, the Democrats and the Republicans were fighting over the filibuster too. But back in those days, Nixon and Eisenhower were on the side of getting rid of the filibuster, and the Democrats from the South, the Dixiecrats, were the ones that were, were fighting to keep the filibuster there so they could, foil all the civil rights bills.
Yeah, right.
But Nixon, I never knew Nixon was a liberal. That's why.
Compared to
Jackie
today's
Robinson-
Republicans, Nixon was a liberal.
Yeah, he was a liberal. He also took us off the gold standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and Nixon was the one that opened up China
Yeah.
by going there and
Nixon can go to China.
Huh? What was this?
Only Nixon can go to China.
None of us were allowed to go back in the day. And of course, we got the same problem today with Cuba. We can't go to Cuba. There was a time when we could, for a short time, that we could go to
Oh,
Cuba.
my great grandfather.
Yeah.
He loved his cigars, and specifically, he loved his Havanas.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when Eisenhower put the kibosh on that, oh, he was all about fuck Eisenhower.
I had somebody I was talking to many years ago, and he was talking about a friend. He said he actually went to London, and he said, I'm in London, I can buy Cuban cigars.
That's right, you can.
So he went into a cigar store, and he said, okay, I'm from America, I would like a Cuban cigar. And
Mistake.
Huh?
First mistake saying I'm from America. I want to give you a cigar.
But he said, I want a Cuban cigar. And the guy says, fine, we have some really good ones over here. And he goes over and gets them, and he says, here, have one. Take one. He took one out, and he said, I think I'll take this one. He said, let me do it. Let me enjoy one with you. okay? And he pulled out one for himself, and then they cut, I guess, the front of it. I don't know. I'm not a cigar smoker, so I don't
He's
know.
a chop. He chops.
Yeah, and then and then
Two ways to do this: you either chop or you punch.
yeah, he has him light up, and he lights up, and then the other guy, the British guy, lights up, and then he takes a puff off of it, and he savors it for a moment, and then he looks at the American and says, "Your American president is so stupid."
I will drink to that.
Yeah, he says, "Look at what you're missing. Isn't this terrible? You're missing it."
I will so drink to that.
You know, I mean, but the Cuban cigars were the gold standard, weren't they? Are they still the gold standard?
Yeah, they still are.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly wasn't Muriel, you know.
Or
what were some
White
Roy
Owls.
Tans? You remember Roy Tans?
Yeah.
Oh,
What were they? Little
White
tiny
Owls.
like
White
cigarettellos?
Owls and
White Owls. Oh yeah.
oh.
Well, I mean, I never could stand cigars, but then
Paper
again,
bags.
I
remember
couldn't
you used
stand.
to do the prank calls. You go, hey, do you have Prince Henry in the can?
No,
Yeah.
Prince Albert in the can.
Prince Albert, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a tobacco company, and they had tobacco
Was it?
in the can.
Oh yeah, Prince Albert in the can. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
White
so-
Owls.
Pipe
Romeo
tobacco,
and
yeah.
Juliet.
Yeah, but it was pipe tobacco. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some terrible tobaccos in this country. I mean, people, you know, if my feeling has always been, if I'm going to gain 100 pounds eating chocolate, then let it be the best chocolate I can lay my hands on.
German
Not-
chocolate.
Not what?
German chocolate.
Well, or
Yep.
whatever. But let me gain weight on good food and good stuff, not crap. You know, I don't want to gain 100 pounds on McDonald's hamburgers.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And the same is true if I'm going to smoke cigars, which I never did because when I was a kid, all I could lay my hands on were Roy Tans and Muriels
God.
and what were some of the other terrible ones? We were mentioning a few here.
Dutch Masters.
Dutch Masters. I could never go for those. So they were terrible, and so I never smoked cigars. And to this day, I don't smoke them. But I'm sure if I had had some decent cigars, I would have appreciated them and gotten a taste for them.
You should try some Havana Stogies sometime.
Yeah,
You should
well,
try it.
you know.
This is the one experience you need to have in your life,
Yeah.
Alex.
But if you're good, what I was going to say is, if you're going to get cancer from smoking, then at least smoke good stuff. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. What is that? John?
This is it's a CAO. Comes with like a little wrapper on it.
Yeah.
And it's CA, but it's a. So I think it's a Dominican Republic probably, and I have a little clipper here.
Mhm.
Clip.
You're a chopper. Okay.
Clip it off and.
See, I've
By the
always
way,
been- I've always been a
great
punch
program
guy.
we're having here, teaching people how to smoke cigars.
And there
I've
we
always,
go.
what I would do is I would take a matchstick and jam it up the ass of a cigar.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I can't light it in my apartment though. I just live in a little studio in San Francisco, and if I lit this thing up, the whole fucking place, the fire alarm would probably go off.
Yeah.
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 Anybody else here smoke cigars?
I used to a little bit. Going out to the club would have Hemingways, the short stories, because they're pretty
Yeah.
good and they're small, so
Yeah.
you could smoke those pretty quick.
Yeah. Wait,
So
a
we
minute.
do
Your
that.
green
And then
screen is hiding whatever that is.
I'd also
Oh, there we
I
go.
I'd also
smoke,
do,
I smoke Indonesian cigars because my wife is from Indonesia. So
Yeah.
I always want to go.
Yes,
Cuba.
Tony.
I smoked a few cigars now,
You what?
Okay.
What cigars?
just the Chinese ones. Now I'm joking.
chink cigars.
back
I
in the late 90s,
But did he say that word again?
the paper, Alex. Like I always thought the paper of the cigar. You have to be careful with
There's
it.
no
Isn't that
paper in a cigar.
No,
Like
it's leaf.
That's
All
leaf.
beef.
It's
Oh.
leaf. Yeah, it's wrapped in leaf.
I was
Yeah.
watching this thing on it. They said that can be toxic if you swallow it, though.
What toxic?
swallow
If you
it.
swallow what?
The like the remnants of it, like the how it's wrapped, the wrapping, I think.
The roach.
No, that's just
Eat it.
that's just natural leaf that's been cured.
Yeah, you puff on it.
Does that really get them high like they say? They were saying sometimes you can get like a high off of that.
Yeah, if he has filtered
Well, if you
cigars.
inhale the smoke, you're gonna pass out. I mean, you don't inhale a cigar; you just puff on
You
it.
puff on.
Well, I inhale. I
regular-
definitely inhale.
But there is a cancer you can get from smoking cigars.
Yeah,
Sure.
throat cancer.
Throat cancer, but also liver cancer.
Mouth and throat. Yeah.
I think
Well,
there's a
mouth
liver
and
cancer
throat,
because the cigar seeps into your mucous membranes and can go to your liver and your whatever. So it's not like you can't get cancer from those either.
Shit.
Even this
Churchill
planet gives you cancer.
Churchill used to smoke about 40 cigars a day, and he saved the world.
Yeah, well, that's true. On the other hand, I used to smoke.
That was my great grandfather.
When I was a kid, I smoked chocolate cigarettes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He
remember the
smoked the
chocolate
bubblegum
cigarettes?
The gum ones, yeah.
The Lucky Strikes, remember those? They was always stale, that gum, but they were good.
Bubblegum ones.
Well,
Top it
bubble
out,
gum
you
ones.
fill
I
out
hate
the
those.
dust.
I hate it because then you just put them in your mouth and chew them, right? But you remember
Yeah.
they had these peppermint ones that had like a phony flame at the end of it,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they painted it
Orange.
red.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, that was a good thing to get your kids hooked on because they got very used to smoking.
Yep. I'm sure the cigarette companies were backing that stuff up.
Yeah, yeah. William's having a real party over there. He's
Oh, yes, I am.
Smoking cigars, drinking some booze.
Bushmills, Irish whiskey.
Bushmills
Nice.
Irish whiskey. Those are the two things. I quit smoking when I was 42. Okay, just stopped it. Best thing I ever did, by the way.
Was that when was that before or after KMEL?
That was after KMEL. When I got to the Quake is when I quit smoking.
I remember.
Yeah, I quit smoking.
And then started that white stuff up your nose.
What? Oh yeah, then I went to cocaine.
Yeah, then you went to cocaine.
Remember that comedian had that joke where he'd say, "The best cigarette I ever had was after a double bypass."
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh, speaking of that, 7 years ago, Robin passed away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did. Well, Robin Williams also said about coke that doing cocaine is a sign that you're making way too much money.
Yeah, it's God's way. You're making too much
God's
money.
way of saying you're making too much money. But I quit smoking, and I never was a drinker. So basically, I've had no fun since I was 42. Okay.
Well, you can start now, Alex.
Yeah, it's a good time for me to start drinking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I should
Yeah,
become
for sure.
just a raging alcoholic. I mean, it takes you maybe 20 years to get, jaundice or whatever they get in your liver.
Just drink like super expensive whiskey and wine.
Yeah, just stay drunk from now till the end of my life.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have to. I'm not going to get fired because I don't have a job anymore, right?
Yeah.
You'll
Get more viewers on this thing for sure.
and my Social Security should pay for something good, But
I just realized I can start collecting Social Security next year.
really,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
pretty
can't
cool.
collect mine until I'm 72.
Why are you 72?
They bumped me up from 65.
Why?
I got a letter from the Social Security Administration. They're like, "Oh yeah, you were at 65, but now we're going to bump you up to 72." And I'm like, "Oh, you just fuck all the way off with you people."
Well, wait a minute.
I
Wait a
thought
minute. Wait a
they give
minute.
you the choice.
I
No.
never.
No, they didn't give me a choice. They were like, "Yeah, we're going to bump you up to 72." I'm like, "Fuck all the way off."
Wait a minute. Did you ever take any Social Security for any reason?
No,
Then
never.
the age now is 66, I think, and you can take it early at about 62, which I did.
62.
Which
Yeah, you
No,
have to.
they bumped me to 72.
I would check. With
No, I'd check that because that ain't right. You have to sign up for Medicare at 65. You have to.
Yeah, that's a law, right?
Yeah, so I would
That's
check.
what
I would
yeah,
check.
that's what I'm waiting
I
for.
would
is
call
the
Social
Medicare.
Security and I would
Yeah,
say,
your Medicare, if you don't sign up for at 64 and a half, you have to sign up for it, and by 65, you have to
Wait a
take
minute,
it.
how did
Otherwise,
you-
you're
how
going to
did
get
you-
screwed and you'll get penalized.
how'd you find that out?
That's 12 years for me.
Well, how'd you find that out, though, William?
They sent me a letter.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not a scam.
There might be a
Yeah,
scam.
probably
It was
bullshit.
actually from the Social Security Administration. I checked. It was all legit. And they were
Same
like,
guys-
oh,
Well,
Did you
should-
call them?
You should call them. You should call them.
Yeah.
and
Same guy's
talk to them.
calling
yeah,
Alex.
you're right. I should.
Yeah.
Because I
Same
didn't.
guy's calling Alex.
And don't
Call
call the
Alex.
number. Don't call the number on the paper. Find an office and call them.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of
Now,
scams going around
If
out
I
there.
can start
Yeah.
collecting it at 62, I'm going to start collecting it. I'm 64. I didn't know I could collect it at 62.
You can, but it's just less amount.
Well, by the way, Kevin, I got another
you
one of those
can.
calls from Medicare, like the one I talked about the other day.
Oh, what happened with that?
And this time when he asked me for my ID number, I gave him 4 numbers, and then I said, it's 576, fuck you.
Yeah.
But
Those
no,
are the
but
letters.
you know what
The
he
letters-
did?
You
He
just give them the letters
actually-
FUCKYOU
No, but wait a minute. He
257.
He gave me my complete ID number. And he said, would you just repeat that for me? Is that the number you have on your thing? And I just don't know where he got it, but I don't think it's that unavailable.
It is.
Huh?
Now it is.
No.
Yeah, if he gave you your number's out there now, so I'd just go get it changed.
Well, I talked to the people at Social Security. They said, just check to see if there's anything on your account.
Screw that. I wouldn't do it. I'd just go get it changed.
Yeah, yeah, but
they
no.
could wait. They could wait for a year. and
Yeah,
then
but you know,
start
you
charging.
give it to your doctor, and he calls it in, and you give it to somebody else. You give it to your pharmacy. I
And
mean,
then he puts it in his computer, and his computer is not secured. And all of a sudden, somebody hacks into his computer one day on a lark.
Yeah.
No, they're supposed to be secure, but you know.
You know, all I'm saying,
Bullshit.
all I'm saying is, I don't think that number is that unavailable to people. Let me put it that way.
Boy, I have got quite the buzz going on.
I know you seem to be. You seem to have gotten
God.
drunker and drunker as the
Vodka
show's
too on the
going
way.
on. Who did we have anybody else here who used to get really drunk during the show? Scott Boddicker.
Scott Boddicker. He took his shirt off one time. You don't remember that, do you?
No, I
That's
never.
why. That's why
Okay.
he took that long break. He took that long break because he was embarrassed because he took his shirt off at the end.
Yeah.
Hey, for the record, I don't get that wasted. I don't get white boy wasted at all.
Classic Boddicker.
I don't get that wasted. I'm not going to take my shirt off. So if that's what you're waiting for, not going to happen.
No, we don't want to, but you have gotten progressively a little more, shall we say, loosey goosey on the show tonight. But that's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm good.
You know,
All the
I'm
shit
beginning
you've
to
gone
believe
through,
the
you
best
can
way
live
to
it.
participate in this broadcast and to listen to it is get drunk first. You know,
No, I like
Don't
to
do that.
huh?
I think the best way to do this is to get drunk during the
Yeah.
broadcast.
Yes. How about you? You don't drink, do you, Brian? On the show? On the show?
Oh no, not on the show. No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no.
All right. And Jeff doesn't. And,
Yeah, I tap wine all the time.
I don't know
No,
what.
he does. He has wine. So I used to have some wine.
Yeah, I'm just not a drinker. I just never got into that. Oh,
You need
hey.
to start, Alex.
Listen.
You really, at your age, you need to start.
Well,
I have vodka and Red Bull. That's a great drink.
Oh, Incredible Hulk.
Wow.
Speedball.
Anyway,
I
there's
love
our
Speedball.
I like
Sounds
this
good.
guy.
there's our
Huh?
theme song
him.
playing, and it's time for us to kind of wrap this whole thing up. Thanks to Jeff for joining us tonight, and thank you very much. Oh yes. Oh, ooh, spooky.
Well, signs.
Thank you,
Wow.
Brian Neary, and thank you to John Larkin, and thank you to Tony Magno, and we'll have to talk to him about his mother's tombstone. They charged him by the letter.
I gotta tell you,
He saved $200 because it was Magno. Anyway, we'll talk about that next time you call. Thank you very much for calling us tonight, William. And I hope you call again. Very enjoyable.
I will.
And of course,
I will. I'll
Kevin,
keep in touch more
always a
often.
pleasure having you here.
Yeah, I'm very sorry that I don't, but I will. more
Okay.
often.
Yeah, cool.
Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye to you. And hope we see you all tomorrow night. Bye bye. there goes our citizen panel for tonight. That's it. That's all she wrote, folks, from here. The guess what's next? Yes, the intersection with Jack Bishop is next. He'll be taking your calls on Skype, okay, at Gabnet Live. Meanwhile, I'll be back again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And by the way, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, you don't want to wind up like William, okay? Get the shot. You'll feel a lot better for it, and you'll have a few more freedoms available to you. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice night. See you tomorrow.